So one type of sequence we didn't talk about is something called a recursive sequence. Now what this means is it gives you a starting value for a sub 1, so a sub 1, let's say is 4 in this case. Then it gives you what you're supposed to do after that. So a sub n would just be then 2 times a sub n minus 1. So essentially in this you need the first term, because in this you have a sub n minus 1, that means the term before. So if I want to find the second term, or a sub 2, I do 2 times a sub 1. In this case we know that a sub 1 is 4, so it would be 2 times 4, or a sub 2 would be 8. Okay, now if I wanted to find a sub 3, it would be 2 times a sub 2. So in this case it would be 2 times what we just found for a sub 2, which was 8, so 2 times 8, or 16. So a sub 3 equals 16. So notice how it gave us a starting term, and then every time we had to use that term in order to find the next one. Let's look at another example. So we have an arithmetic sequence. Every time you're adding 2 to it, every time it's adding 2. So there's two different formulas I could write. I could write the explicit, which is what we've written before, and the explicit one, this is a sub n equals 2n. Now, that's going through the process where he gives you the formula. The difference is, for the recursive, is it gives us a starting term. So you always start with the first term, so a sub 1 is 2. Then once you get that first term, if I want to write the a sub nth term, it just says, what do I do to that first term? Well, to that first term I just add 2, so I'll do a n minus 1 plus 2. So if I want to find the second term, it would be a sub 1 plus 2, or we know in this case that a sub 1 equals 2, so it would be 2 plus 2, or 4. And that would be our second term. Really quickly, let's just check to make sure this works for the third one. A sub 3 equals a sub 2 plus 2. A sub 2 we just found was 4, so it would be 4 plus 2, or 6. And that is our third term. So this is what's known as a recursive sequence. It's one that has a formula that you need to know the first term for, and then once you know that first term, you then add or multiply or do something to it to get to the next term. If you think you got it, go ahead and try the recursive formula sheet. It's the first page of your worksheet today. If not, I'm going to do one more example. Okay, so let's find the recursive sequence for this 3, 9, 27, 81, and so on. So our first term here is 3, and then let's just check to see what happens. To get from 3 to 9, what do? I multiply by 3. From 9 to 27, I multiply by 3. 27 to 81, I multiply by 3. So my a sub n means I'm going to take the term before a sub n minus 1 and multiply it by 3. A lot of times this will be written as 3 times a to the n minus 1. Now let's just make sure this works. So a sub 2 would be a sub 1 times 3. We know our a sub 1 is 3, so 3 times 3, or 9. That is our second term, and we're going to see this is going to work because every time you're multiplying that term before it by 3. Okay, why don't you go ahead and try the recursive formula sheet.